Yes, sir, we are live on YouTube as well as on Zoom. Let's wait for the students to join, sir, and then we can start our interaction, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will turn off my camera as well as mic, and then I will be behind the screen, sir. Right, sir.
Okay, so it appears that, say, we'll wait for some students to join. Meanwhile, I'll just go about what we are doing in this live session. So, uh, what we plan to discuss is basically we'll be just going about the whole outline of the course and what we should be focusing mainly on while we are, studying this whole course. So we already know that you can go about the outline that tells, okay, we have a raw feed, raw material, and then we can just think about material pre-treatment, and then finally we can just go about the recycling process and then think about materials recycling. So we already know that the two major categories that we are actually trying to explore in our course is basically the metallurgical waste and the electronic waste. And there are so many different categories of metallurgical waste and electronic wastes. And based on the processes, these categorization has been provided. And each raw material that we can think of has its own distinct properties. And developing a dedicated recycling strategy for each of these processes is of immense importance, which is what we are trying to do in the whole course content. So, if in case you have any doubts, you can just ask. So, for instance, I'll just briefly outline one case. Say, for instance, if we look at aluminium wastes or copper wastes or zinc wastes, or in the upcoming classes, we'll be also discussing on electronic wastes, specifically the WPCB waste printed circuit board, or the lithium-ion batteries, or in general batteries. So we know that one of the most important aspect is understanding the waste itself, and then one can think about what is the most compatible route of addressing a given waste, and then trying to follow how we should go about the recycling strategy. So we know that pre-treatment can be done in so many different ways. One of the most important aspect is comminution, bringing down the particle size. It can be, there can be many other pre-treatments that can be applied for a given type of recycling strategy, or it can be bypassed altogether. And we know that there are, generally speaking, there are three different routes of recycling, which are three basic routes of extraction actually: pyrometallurgy, hydrometallurgy, and electrometallurgy. And you can have multiple combinations of these recycling processes, and then have dedicated recycling strategies for uh, a given waste. In case you have any doubts, you can ask. Or you can also, we also have that option of dropping your questions in the forum or in the chat box as well. Yeah, it appears that we'll have to wait for a couple of couple of minutes more. We are waiting. Mhm. Okay, so one thing that we can think about if we are talking about examinations is that uh, just go through the video lectures mostly because most of the contents that you will be getting in the video lectures and the lecture notes that we are preparing according to the video lectures, those content, that piece of information may not be available readily if you are trying to look at uh, various searches in it. If you're doing various Google searches, or because these are very specific information that people have published in their research articles, and we had to study a lot and identify what are the advances in the courses. Uh, so specifically, my advice would be to go through the video lectures, and if you don't understand something, then you can drop an email, ask a question in the forum, or at the same time, you also have the lecture notes, and one can go beyond the lecture notes and video lectures as well. So if there are some terms that you are really interested in, for instance, let's say you are interested in copper recycling or zinc recycling, what are different wastes? And we have specifically covered very specific topics. Now, beyond that, if you wish to have uh, an extended learning, or you want to go beyond, let's say, copper scrap recycling or aluminum scrap recycling or steel scrap recycling? What would you like to learn? It depends on the learner itself, himself or herself. What would they want to learn, and what are the recent advances? What are the industrial practices? What are the environmental concerns when we're thinking of new processes? So when we think about all of these recent advances, one has to go beyond the lecture notes and prepare. And of course, from the examination point of view, one should thoroughly go through the video lectures and lecture materials and diligently try and solve the assignment questions, because that is going to help you prepare for the course.
Thank you, sir, for joining in and explaining few things related to the course. Since there is no engagement, I think we can close the session. On YouTube also are not watching, sir. Let us close it, sir. I'll just stop the meeting and then you can also exit. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.